Well, this is what the tank feels like, and perhaps with the trade deadline looming, there could be more days like this. But with all the activity around the league and the rumors going around right now, potentially something big could be afoot. Maybe the Raptors won't need to tank after all. Let's break down this game and everything that went down during it in tonight's post-game show. So, tough one to follow here today. In the middle of the game, Jimmy Butler gets traded to the Golden State Warriors, and for a moment, it appeared as though it would become a 5-team trade that included the Raptors receiving Kyle Anderson in the deal. Then the report said that the Raptors were going to move Kyle Anderson on elsewhere, and we were kind of waiting to see, hey, what sort of assets and what sort of compensation do we get for taking on Anderson in this trade? Then that portion of the trade fell through. Anderson ended up going to Miami for the time being. The Raptors not involved at all, but as the game went on, rumors started to heat up about Brandon Ingram and the potential of him coming to Toronto. If you're watching this later, could be irrelevant. Maybe he's already traded somewhere, but reports suggest as of right now that the Hawks and the Raptors are neck and neck in trade discussions surrounding Brandon Ingram. All of this I've led off with for a post-game show because it wasn't, you just look at the score. Raptors lose by 31. Honestly, this game took a really ugly turn. It was a really good first half by the Raptors, right? Raptors went into halftime leading the game by 6. A lot of tough lineup here, but rookies were showing up playing well. Bench guys showing up playing well. All playing well despite a relatively poor, a really poor night once again by Scotty Barnes. It was a fun game. Jamal Shed played well, 5 of 10, 14 points. Walter was playing well, 5 of 11, 14 points. Abaji, 14 points off the bench, 3 of 4 from 3. David Mitchell off the bench, 10 points. Mobo, 2 threes. Mobo won his entire final called season having made 0 threes. He made 2 tonight for the Raptors, 7 rebounds. It was the guys you would expect to play well who didn't play well. Grady Dick goes 5 of 17. Barnes goes 4 of 18. Those were the ugly parts of the stat line. Shed was minus 36 despite his box score here. But, we were up 6 at halftime. It was just disastrous second half. The offense fell off a cliff for the Raptors. Memphis fixed up. And, where the Raptors found success early was forcing turnovers. They won the turnover battle 16-9. They win the turnover battle 16-9. Memphis cleaned it up big time second half. And then also in the end, they get dominated in the glass second half, 25-14. The nature of a game when Jakob Poeltl's out injured and you have no centers other than Jakob Poeltl. Kelly Olynyk's not a center. He's a power forward, really. I guess Orlando Robinson played 3 minutes. But, yeah, size was a problem. Once the Raptors stopped forcing turnovers, Memphis cleaned up their game. This game was pretty cooked. But, again, you look at the lineup. That's kind of bound to happen. And I say, Jakob Poeltl might be the most influential player to the Raptors succeeding, but just because they don't have any backups for him. They were 4-28 without Poeltl last season. And, yeah, if he's out for some time, there will be more games like this. And if he gets traded, who knows? There might be other games like this because there is a rough road ahead schedule-wise for the Raptors. You think this is bad? The team is going to change in the next 17 hours right now. Next 2 games, they are away at OKC and away at Houston. So, yeah, I'm feeling like there's going to be something. It may not be Ingram, may not be anything big, but something's going to change. Something is going to go down. Raptors will change. The Raptors will certainly change as we know it at this point. It could be a drastically big change. It could be something small, taking on a contract like Kyle Anderson and getting assets in return for it. But a game like this still gives us kind of hope for the rest of the year. It's hey, Jamal Shed's getting minutes. He's playing well. Jacoby Walter's getting minutes. He's doing okay. Jonathan Mobile's getting minutes again. He's doing okay. We got Jamison Battle back in the NBA today. Hit a 3 again. He's shooting 59% from 3 in the G League this season. There's still, if the team commits to a tank, there's still, excitement in some of these games. And hey, man, we dealt with some really bad stretches this season. We got through that. We'll get through the rest of the year. If the Raptors are buyers, they get Brandon Ingram, he's going to be injured. So there still will be tough games like this, especially probably the Thunder and Rockets game. But there's still players to get up for. There's still players to get excited for. And we'll just really see like what this team is made of for the rest of the season. And perhaps we maximize our draft pick. But yeah, again, it is just thankfully there were a lot of distractions for this game because that second half got ugly. Like, you look at the state of the roster, it's just not a roster that's going to produce a lot of offense. You're lacking a lot of creation pieces. Like, Barnes has had to take on a massive self-creation load the last couple games. Unfortunately, it hasn't looked good. Like, 0 of 7 from 3 here. It just has not looked good for Barnes in this self-creation sort of role the last couple games without really any distractions. But we've seen Barnes, like, when he's got help, when he's got teammates out there with him, fantastic player. It's just like when he's got to do it, like, look at the lineup. Like, Grady Dick, Cody Walter, Jamal Shea-Kelly, like, with all due respect. When he's got help around him and not the focal point of the defense completely on him, like, we've seen some big stat lines, but some ugly ones for sure. But he'll learn from this and hopefully improve from this. And look, hey, maybe getting a guy like Brandon Ingram really does help the team out and helps out Scotty. I don't think the fit is perfect, but I do think that the fit for Barnes and Ingram is decent. So, again, lots of stuff can change. There's a lot of stuff that are going to go down here. How much of it will involve the Raptors, we will see. But this trade deadline has been absolutely bonkers, and the Raptors can make it even more so by getting something done here. I'm trying to think of the last couple of the trade deadline, the games I remember before the trade deadline. I remember 2 years ago they played the Spurs. I think they beat the Spurs, and then later that night they traded for Pirtle, who had just played against them. 4 years ago, I remember they destroyed the Denver Nuggets the day before the trade deadline in what we thought would become Kyle Lowry's last game. Little did we know that he was going to stay, and it would in fact be Norman Powell's last game. So, look, they're busy during the game, almost getting themselves involved in the Jimmy Butler deal, getting Kyle Anderson. I'm sure phone calls, like the reports, there's been so many updates throughout the game regarding Brandon Ingram. Masai Ujiri is on that phone. Bobby Webster is on that phone. These guys are making phone calls, and we'll be following along all the games and all these new players, watching them along. We'll be talking about them in post-game shows. We'll be doing content about them on the main channel. If you guys enjoy what you see, please make sure you do hit that like button, support the channel. Please make sure you're subscribed. We got tons of great content. Wherever you see this, I'm going to be live around 1 p.m. Eastern time on the main channel, Amateur Sports, for the trade deadline. We'll be live for about 4.5. I'll be live for like 3 to 4 hours for that one. So tons of great stuff on the way. Please make sure you guys are locked in on the channel, and I will see you again next time.